students, today I am going to teach you chapter 5th, that is principle of inheritance and variation. That is the first chapter of genetics. Now CBSE has removed evolution chapter, only two chapter 5th and 6th is there in your syllabus. So genetics, what is genetics? It is that branch of biology which deals with the variation and transmission of characters from one generation to another, that we called as a heredity. Now, father of genetics. So, Gregor Johann Mendel is known as father of genetics. Now, but father of modern genetics is W. Bateson. Now, I am going to tell you about Mendel. He was a mathematician. He was born on 22nd July 1822 in Austria. And he died in 1884. He performed, although he was mathematician, then also he performed several experiments on Pisum sativum. He started his experiment on Pisum sativum in 1856. And he continued his experiment for 7 years, means till 1863. He was very unlucky person, and as he performed experiments on Pisum sativum continuously for 7 years, he concluded that there are factors which are transmitted from one generation to another. Actually, that factors presently we called as a genes. Genes are the hereditary unit, or we can say unit of a character, which are transmitted from one generation to another. But in 1909, Johnson, he has a one term gene, or we can say he coined the term gene for the factor. Now I am going to tell you certain terms. And as I told you, he was very unlucky person. His work was not recognized till he was alive. But after death, his death means at 16 years over, or his work was rediscovered after 16 years by 3 scientists. The name of these scientists are Karl Correns, Hugo de Vries. This Hugo de Vries has also given the term mutation. And third is Erich von Isernak. These 3 scientists again studied the postulate of Mendel, and means because of them only the work of Mendel is recognized today. After that only he was declared as a father of genetics. Now children, I am going to tell you certain terms. What are these terms? So, array or array. This is a alternative form of a gene. So we can say very important term in the genetics, alternative form of a gene is known as array, which are present on same position on the homologous chromosomes. On the homologous chromosomes. Now, just I am going to show you. For example, these are two chromosomes. Here, for example, A gene is present. Here also, that means for axial position of a flower. And here also A is means this is the same position. This we call as a array. Now, for example, one P gene is present here, one small gene is present here, but same position on the homologous chromosome. This also we call as a array. Now, I am going to tell you about heterozygous. Heterozygous. And then homozygous. What are these terms? Heterozygous means when any individual is produced by the fusion of two gametes which are having, one gamete is having this gene, another is having this gene. So what zygote is formed, that will have both the genes together. But these are not similar genes. So that is why one represents the dominant character, other represents the recessive character. So any organelles which develop from this zygote, this is known as heterozygous. That particular individual is known as heterozygous. Now hetero means different, clear. So different gametes. Now homozygous. Homo means similar. Similar gametes. Now what would happen in homozygous if any gamete is having this capital T and another gamete is also having capital T. So by the fusion of both the gametes, zygote is formed which will have both the capital T's. So any individual which develop from this zygote is known as homozygous. Now, and children, both the terms heterozygous and homozygous both are given by Bateson. Now, phenotype and genotype. Phenotype means the external character of an individual is known as phenotype, and that character is known as phenotypic character. Genotype, genetic makeup of an individual, is known as genotype. Now, these both the terms are coined by Johnson. Now, I am going to tell you about the contrasting traits that actually Mendel selected only pea plant for his experiments. So many reasons are there. That is why he was successful. He selected annual plant. That Pisum sativum is an annual plant. That means its life cycle is up to few months. Okay. Second thing, we can say that many contrasting traits are available. Contrasting means several characters are there, superior also, inferior also. Superior is known as dominant characters and inferior are known as the recessive characters, like height of the plant. Tallness is a dominant character and draftness is a recessive character. So, and second thing, Pisum sativum is easy to cultivate. it is a bisexual flower, so it also promoted self-pollination. And in pea plant, artificially cross-pollination can be done. So now we are going to talk about the 7 contrasting traits that was selected by Mendel. But father of modern genetics is W. Bateson. So 7 contrasting traits. So first we start with the shape of a seed. Second, color of the pod. Third, color of the pod. Color of the pod, then shape of the pod. Fourth, position of a flower. Color of the seed. Height of the plant. And seventh is the color of the flower. These were the 7 contrasting traits selected by the Mendel, on which he performed several experiments. Shape of a seed, color of the pod, shape of the pod, position of a flower, color of the seed, height of the plant, color of the flower. Now, contrasting means the superior and inferior both. So, dominant characters and recessive. Now, if we talk about shape of a seed, so round is the dominant character and wrinkled is a recessive. Now, color of the pod. We can say that green color is the dominant and yellow is a recessive. Pod means a legume in which seeds are found. Now, shape of the pod. Inflated, that is a dominant character. Inflated means that legume is filled with the good seeds, round shaped seeds. Inflated. Recessive is constricted. Position of a flower. Axial position. And terminal. Terminal is a recessive. Color of the seed. Yellow color is the dominant one. And green color of seed is recessive character. Height of the plant. Tall is the dominant character and dwarf is the recessive character. Now, color of the flower. Violet and white. Violet is a dominant and white is a recessive. Now, 2-3 terms I am going to tell you. Axial and terminal position of a flower. For example, this is a plant. In both the sides, different flowers are there. This is considered as a axial position, means the lateral sides. This is known as axial position of a flower, which is dominant. Because why it is dominant? Because if flower is present on both the sides, then the main branch continues growing. It will not be affected. Means the growth of the plant will not be affected. But if the flower is present on the main tip part or the terminal position, then what would happen? The growth of a stem or growth of a plant will be affected. That is why the terminal position is considered as a recessive one. Now I am going to tell you about monohybrid crossing. Now monohybrid cross. As 7 contrasting traits we study, now monohybrid cross means the cross which is made by considering any of the 7 contrasting traits. Means any one contrasting trait is considered here. For example, if we are considering height of the plant. So we know that height of the plant is what? Capital T. Capital T. Isn't it? So if we talk about one contrasting trait, so capital TT is crossed with a small t, that is tall, and that is recessive character, we can say dwarf. So during gamete formation, what is formed? Capital TT. This we called as a first filial generation. Now on selfing, what would happen? That I am going to represent by the Punnett square. We know that Dragneel and C. Punnett has introduced a graphical representation of the offsprings that is known as the Punnett square. That by that only I am explaining. So for F2 generation, capital T, small t, capital T, small t. Now when we cross it, what we will get? Capital TT, when we cross it, then capital T, small t, this to this, capital T, small t, and this to this, capital T. So phenotypically or phenotypic ratio, if we talk about what we will get, 3:1. Phenotypic means by seeing the external appearance, what result we will get. Because in this is F1 generation, this is F2 generation. In F1 generation, only dominant characters are visible, not the recessive characters. So phenotypic ratio by seeing the external appearance, 3:1, because one dominant gene is there. But if genotypically we talk about genotypic ratio, okay, that is 1:2:1. How? Because capital TT is there, 1, then capital T, small t is 2, and small t is also 1. That is why 1:2:1. And genotype means the genetic makeup. So on the basis of the genes, whatever the ratio is, that is 1:2:1. I hope it's clear. Whenever we want to represent it in a mathematical expression, then what would happen? That this capital T is 1/4. This is 1/2. And this is also 1/4. So we can apply the formula Okay, I am just going to rub it, then I will explain it. If we will represent the result of monohybrid cross by mathematical expression, we can represent by this. We know that a square, a plus b whole square, what is the formula? That is a square plus 2ab plus b square. In that way only we have to represent. And what would happen if a square, what we will get? We will get half 1/4 tt. Now plus 2ab, and 2 into what is a? Half t, then into half small t, plus this one, when we square it, what we will get? 1/4 tt. So here this will be cancelled. It is 1/4 tt plus half capital T, small t, and 1/4 tt. This is a mathematical expression of monohybrid cross. So it can be represented mathematically also, because we know that what we got whenever we have seen the F2 generation of monohybrid cross, what we got earlier, we got 1 by 4 capital T. Okay, 1 by 2 we got capital T small t, and the last one we got 1 by 4 small t. So children, we are going to finish it today, and another video I will proceed.